Hey guys and girls watching this video. This is going to be a video on how to take care of a crested gecko. Now, some of the most important things you will have to know will be included in this video. Let's start with the first one. A crested gecko is a rainforest lizard. They love to climb, as you can see right here. Oops. Alright. They love to climb and they love to jump around the cage. So you will have to include many things in this cage, which I will include later in this video. Now, let's get into some important stuff right here. One of these lizards can live up to 15 years, for average 10 to 15 years. And there have been some that have lived up to 20 years. Now, these lizards grow not too big. This is my hand compared to one of these lizards. They grow 10 to 6 inches. These lizards they need a lot of humidity, which I will also include in this video later. And I will show you more about this tank. So this tank is really big for a lizard like this. As you can see, this tank is too big. Well, there's nothing too big for a lizard like this. This would be very big for its size. And I will show you a tank that would be perfect. So this tank right here would be more than enough. I am pretty sure this is an 8 by 8 by 12. It's not as big as the last one that I showed you, but it is big enough for one of these lizards. So I have a background here that I usually put, but this is big enough for a lizard like this to roam around. So what do I use for this lizard's tank? Let's get started with some of these cork bark logs. So these logs, they're made out of cork bark. It's like they can go in there and they chill. Most of the time they don't go in there. I have another one right here. It's more for decoration, but he uses this one way more often than the small one because this one's smaller. Now, as you see right here, my gecko is gonna go into these leaves. These leaves are very important. Most reptile companies sell these. They're not real, but they're 100% fine. They're clean. Now, I suggest when you get these, you put them in hot water for a minute or two, so you can get the plastic like substances, all that stuff that you don't want your gecko to get in his mouth. But they're not bad. I just do it just to keep my gecko safe from any bad things. Now, I also have these sticks right here, which these lizards do not like to bask or anything, so these are just more for decoration. And I see him using this stick to go from one side to another, but he uses the background right here, which is made out of foam. It's an Exoterra background. He uses this way more often than these sticks. For the flooring, I am using a type of terrarium liner. I have the package for it right here. It's called Green Terrarium Liner by Zilla, and it's like just nice and soft carpet. Even though your gecko is not going to be on it often, since they are arboreal lizards, you're going to want to have something like this because it's way cleaner and way better than anything else. It's really easy to take off when he poops. I can grab the little poop and take it out immediately. And it's very safe for him. It's not going to hurt his skin or anything because he can't really bite this or ingest this. It's a big piece of something. He can't ingest this. And yeah, so there's something that you shouldn't be using for your gecko. What you shouldn't be using for your gecko is this right here. It's called, there's many different things. It's kind of like, it's sand. It's like a mixture of sand. I suggest if you're going to put live insects in your crested gecko terrarium, don't use anything like like this right here. This is a mix of cocoa husk and dirt, pretty much. So don't use sand, cocoa husk, eco earth. This is what it's called, eco earth. So eco earth is like a earthy substance, and if your lizard does ingest this, it's really dangerous, because if they do get this in their mouth and they swallow it, which many lizards are going to do it thinking it's food, this is very cheap. I suggest you getting the one that I just showed you, because it's a little bit more expensive. It's like I think it's $8, but it's something that's gonna keep on giving. This stuff right here, you have to switch it every couple months, and clean it up pretty often, because the poop gets into this and it's really hard to get it out of here, and it stinks really bad. So don't really use this, because if your gecko ingests this right here, it's gonna get stuck in his digestive system, and it's not gonna be able to digest any other food than this, and your gecko is going to sadly pass away. So don't use this. Now let's get into the diet. What do these lizards eat? Well, something that you're really going to need, the most important part of their diet, is Repashy or Pangea fruit mix complete. There's many of these brands that do this. I use Pangea. It has insects already in this. It's a mix of insects and fruit. It's a type of powder, and you mix this with water into a little cup. So I have this. This holds my food and my water for my lizard. So what I just told you, it's a cup with a mixture of powder and water, and there is little pieces of insects in there, which are good for him, and fruit. So these guys are omnivores. I do keep a cup of water here, so he can drink out of it. And I also feed this lizard live insects, so I will put little worms like that one right there. And I will release some crickets sometimes in here, not often, like once a month, because he likes to chase the crickets. Like if there's one right here, he'll run up to it, eat it. And if they are on the ground, what I just showed you, that substance, if they do ingest that with the cricket, they can die. If they ingest too much of it, let's just say that. So I use this, and yep, and that's what they eat. One of the most important part of the videos. Something very important for this lizard. This is a tropical lizard. It's going to need water like this. Well, just normal water. You can use distilled water. Just use clean water. I wouldn't recommend using the water straight out from the sink. Just use nice and clean water, because remember, your gecko is going to drink these water droplets off of the window or the glass. He's gonna lick these, and he's gonna get water from it. And if you moist it, you have to do this for a while. You can see these water droplets, you're gonna lick them off. And this also keeps your terrarium very humid, which in his natural habitat in the wild would be normal, because wherever, well, these guys are from New Caledonia, and it's really nice and humid there because it's in the Pacific. Now, you need to do this twice a day. You need to mist these guys twice a day. So I do it in the morning before I go to school, and in the afternoon when I come back from school, or before I go to bed, because I use this right here. It's a humidifier, which I usually have a little cable. Well, it's on a light right now, but it will go up to here, and I will put a little thing through here, and it comes out here, and it lets out this water vapor, which helps the humidity up even higher in this tank. But geckos need a humidity. Well, I know they need room temperature in their cage, so you will need. It's not a heat bulb, it's just a normal light bulb. You won't need a heat bulb. So usually I leave my tank like this. It's really dark, but your lizard does not need any. I'm just doing this right here, this light. And I usually do leave it on so I could see better inside of the cage, but it's not necessary. So as I said, these lizards will need room temperature. So that's around 60 to 70. They don't like it too hot, but they don't like it too cold. So just room temperature. I don't have anything in here to see the temperature, but I keep my room my room in general in room temperature, so that's good. Now these guys do prefer around 70% humidity, which I give him enough because I spray this twice a day, which should give him enough. And I might give him a little extra, but that's not a bad thing. And that's most of the stuff you'll need to know for this. The last thing, which is really important about these lizards, is these lizards, as you can see right here, this tail right here, if he loses it once, he never gets it again. He never regrows his tail. So you want to make sure you don't stress your lizard out too much with breeding, or you don't get it, like when you're putting him back in the cage, you don't get it caught in between one of the doors or something. So you always want to make sure your lizard's tail is inside of the cage before you close it. And the 3 reasons they lose their tail is because of stress, which they might get from breeding, or I don't know, but it's just stress. And if you breed it with, especially females like this one right here, if you breed it with another male, the males will usually not leave the females alone. The males will always chase them. So you're going to want to separate them. And they also lose it if you pull it too hard or if you get it stuck somewhere. So make sure you don't do that if you don't want your lizard to look like a frog. Which, if they don't have the tail, they're going to call it frog. These lizards right here are really, really good. And they won't care if you handle the lizard. These lizards are great pets. I would recommend them if you have children. They are not common, or they don't tend to bite anybody. They love to jump like he's about to do right here. And these lizards, I mean, I've seen many people, like, look, they might look a little bit like something, but these lizards, they're great for handling. If you want them to get used to you, I would handle them 10 to 20 minutes a day. But these lizards do not need to be handled. And because, you know, they don't need to, because they're not like dogs. But they are okay with handling. So guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If there is something that you want to know for my next video, just in the comments below, just tell me it's just a suggestion of what I should do for my next video. And thanks for watching. I don't really care about the likes on this video. I'd really just appreciate if you subscribe. Just subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this, if you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. I'm not asking for a like, just drop one if you really enjoyed it. And please tune in for my next video. Bye guys, thanks for watching.